Coming up on Mobile Learning in the Classroom, ReadWorks. Hi, I'm Zoe Falls, and today we're going to look at ReadWorks. ReadWorks is a website that has resources for teachers to help students that need to get closer to reading levels or just to increase students' reading. And it also provides lesson plans, strategies, and some really awesome teacher resources to help you plan lessons to help your students. One of my favorite parts of it is Article a Day. And Article a Day allows you to sort by your grade level, by your lexile level, and even by topic. And what you do is, so if you're teaching about a specific unit in class and maybe you want them to have some extended reading in it, you can look at something like, let's say we're doing ancient civilizations and I want them to focus more on ancient Egypt. You can select that reading and it will show you a series of readings, and you can send them home with your students. You can do them in class. You can maybe have it where they read at home with their parents, or they read aloud in class, reading circles, kind of however you want to run it. But there's one each day, and each one is about the same topic. So they're getting some extension, they're doing some reading at home, and it can kind of be a fun sort of activity for your students. You can also go through and look at lessons, and you can save them into your binder. And I went ahead and saved a couple of different lessons into my binder earlier. And so one of them, it gives you passages. So it'll give you the reading and then some, when it opens, there we go. So it'll tell you a lot of information about it. So this is for 5th grade, it tells me the lexile level. It's in technology and engineering. So I'm looking at some science stuff. And you go through and you do the reading. And then it gives some comprehension type questions at the end. But one of my favorite parts is it'll show you where it aligns to the standards. So you can find these readings, use these resources in your classroom, and then you can see which standards are being addressed within the unit you choose. They also have pretty robust vocabulary sheets for the keywords within the text. And so each one has its own document that goes into for the describing the word. And then there's a worksheet that can help you see that your students are understanding the vocabulary words. So the other thing that I saved was a unit. And this is, so they don't provide you the full book, but I was looking at Lone Star, the story of Amelia Earhart, because I was on a science kick when I was going through this stuff, but it sets up different lessons for you. And it talks about how do you teach your students the difference between a biography and an autobiography. And then author's opinion, retelling a life, events and effects, and then features of the text. So again, you go through the text that you are already reading in your classroom, and then it gives you the resources to really sort of enhance that experience for your students. And again, each of these lessons will show you where it aligns to the standards. Because I'm in Nebraska, I picked Nebraska, but it'll do any state. And depending if your school is using a specific curriculum set, you can align it to that as well. So again, it has a lot of really interesting features. You do have to set up an account. It's not linked to Google, which was one of the things for me that I was less excited about because I don't need another account somewhere. But when you do set up the account, you're able to save your resources. You can access things without the account, but you can't save the things in one place without it. So again, I would just encourage teachers to go through and have a look at it. I like that it has stuff for basically any topic I can think of. Basic things on writing, different content areas And the passages are all about different sorts of things. So I can find history ones, just going through really quickly, arts, sciences, sports and physical education. And again, it tells you what reading level it's at, so you can assign ones to different groups. So if you have reading groups in your class, you can assign a different reading to a different group. You can slowly scaffold them up throughout the semester, and you can address certain skills and strategies depending on what you pick. So this is ReadWorks, and there is an extension of ReadWorks that we'll look at in another video that has a teacher side and a student side that really sort of enhances the experience. But with this one, if you're just sort of looking for some new content, maybe some new ways to integrate reading into different subject areas, I definitely suggest you check it out. So I'm Zoe, and this has been Mobile Learning in the Classroom.